Goldberg family, go home show for Summerslam, face off Bobby Lashley, Goldberg, what's gonna happen with Charlotte, Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss's playground, everything that happened, I tell you about all of it here on Raw Break. You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire wrestling community, and I'm your host Juanzo. Welcome, Robert family, to one more episode of our show. We're going to be talking about this time Monday Night Raw and the go home show, like I said, for SummerSlam. Raw came from San Antonio, Texas, and like always, is a show that is really disappointing, doesn't leave us any good segments, but we're going to be talking about everything. Thank you so very much to every single one of you for being part of like the show, being part of the channel. Don't forget to keep supporting every single outlet in the social media world that we're part of. This is a big week in professional wrestling. We have a lot of shows. We're going to be talking about every single one of them, so be with us for the ride, because we have the stars right here on Monday Night Raw family. But before you do that, don't forget to check out the video that we did on Saturday night, Triple Mania 29 in complete Spanish. I do some English in the middle also. You know, we got to see like great matches like Kenny Omega and Andrade going against each other for like the Omega Championship, or the Mega Campeonato like they call it. Also Diana Purrazzo winning the Reina de Reinas Championship, and also like she retains her Knockouts Championship. Ric Flair was like ringside also for Andrade. Like the reports came that like he actually did it for complete free. He didn't have any like non-complete clause or anything like that. So like he actually did a favor to like his soon-to-be son-in-law. So great stuff, a great pay-per-view. Psycho Clown against Hijo del Escorpión as the main event. You know, the mask against like the hair, really good, like, you know, very typical of the Mexican culture when it comes to those type of matches. So watch the review, really cool stuff family. Thank you again for being with us. And Monday Night Raw started out with the Viper Randy Orton. Randy just comes out because like remember what happened at the end of last show. He actually did an RKO on Matt Riddle, so he kind of like is not going to explain anything. He's just, you know, going to address the WWE universe. He says that like he's a 14-time world champion, so he doesn't need anybody. He's the Apex Predator. He, you know, he has the most deadly, like the 3 words in the RKO. He's won everything, and he doesn't need friends to accomplish what he has to do. So, you know, he's just like saying, Riddle, you're not my friend, I don't need you, no RKBros. It's not gonna happen anymore. But then we got to see Riddle comes out, he's like, bro, I got you, I know what you did. I know what you did to me. It's like, I remember I was never smart in school, like the teacher was always like, kind of like helping me out to understand things, but you did this because I wasn't doing the RKO right. I wasn't applying the hold that the way you told me to. But like, you know, you see like something like there, like interactions between both of them, and you know, the Vipers pretty much says, you know what, stay away from me. There's no RKBros, I don't need you, you know, you need to go your own way. Kind of like Fleetwood Mac would say, you know, like little pop culture references for you guys. But then AJ Styles shows up, and then Phenomenal One just says, hey, he loved the way that he did the RKO. He absolutely enjoyed it, and how like RKO, like Randy delivered the RKO on Riddle. Keep doing so. If you want to do one RKO right now, why don't you do that? So that's something that like they were gonna do, but that turns out to be like words between them, and then Riddle challenges AJ to a match, and that's what we gotta see then. And also like you know, like the match was pretty good in between them. We've seen them already before. For example, I remember clearly like the tournament to determine the new Intercontinental Championship last year, you know, for the pandemic time. That's when I saw like that great match that they have. This was also like very good, you know, good interactions between them. But the main story right here, Randy Orton leaves Riddle alone. He just leaves. He's like, hey, you know, I don't need you, you don't need me. Hey, you know what, I'm just gonna stay away from you. So he leaves them all by himself. But like I said, Riddle trying to dominate the match, AJ then with the help of Omos, and also like seeing that Randy Orton living by himself, he like opens up like for AJ Styles to also hit like the Styles Clash, and then 1, 2, 3, and AJ gets the win. But you know, like that was like the main thing when it comes to that. And you know, like they were trying to build some kind of sympathy for Matt Riddle, like create like the whole story for what was to come, you know, like later, like almost like towards the end of the show. But like you see that like Matt Riddle like wasn't happy at all. He was actually really in bad shape because of what was going on, because he thought that actually Randy and him were friends. So now we're gonna switch gears. We'll come back to that family just in 1 minute, but like we're gonna talk about Rhea Ripley and now Nikki ASH. They were gonna have a match, and remember they're gonna have the triple threat at SummerSlam also with Charlotte for the Raw Women's Championship. But here the main story is just that why is Nikki ASH losing on TV? That is something that I don't understand, because you always have to keep your champion looking good. even unless, you know, is Nikki ASH. Yeah, I get it. You know, she's the superhero. She even before, like, she had the match, she had another promo. She said, oh, like, she believes in herself, and all of us, we have to believe in ourselves just to win, just to be better, and then just to accomplish our goals, accomplish our dreams, and all of that. But, like, again, Rhea Ripley dominated Nikki ASH. Like, she make look Nikki really bad, and that's something that I don't like, because I actually want Nikki to retain. The story that she has going on is not bad, and I know there's a lot of people that do not see her as a champion, but with this new gimmick, at least, you know, to, like, for the kids and all of that, it makes a lot of sense. And also, like, if she will be portrayed, or she will be shown more like dominant a little bit, or like the offense will be more credible, I don't think that there will be a lot of backlash from Nikki ASH to be like the World Women's Champion. But like I said, in the match, pretty much Rhea Ripley dominated, like, from top to bottom. Like, there was no chance for Nikki to actually get the win. She wasn't even able to hit signature, even finisher. Riptide, 1, 2, 3. Rhea Ripley, like, wins. So that is something that I don't like, because just, like, again, Nikki ASH is your champion, make her look better. And then Charlotte was even part of the action. She was trying to get, you know, hit like Rhea and also like Nikki ASH, but in the end, actually, Charlotte gets the one, like, taken out by both of them. So, like, that will later on will actually mean, like, they will have a match. They will have, like, a tag match, and then, you know, we're gonna talk about that in just a bit. But now we're gonna move to Jinder Mahal and, you know, his friends like Sharky and Bear. Like, those are like their lackeys that he has right now, because the Singh brothers are out of a job. They were released by the WWE. So Jinder says that, you know, today we have a match against Drew McIntyre. You guys have, like, the advantage. Is a handicap match. It's you two against Drew. You have to win. You have to hurt him. Make sure that, like, he's ready for me for SummerSlam. Weaken him. You know, make sure that, like, he's just, like, ready, so I can just kick his ass at SummerSlam. You know, but before the match, we got to see a promo by MVP. MVP is just interviewed by Kevin Patrick, and he said, you know, what are your thoughts about the face-off? Because that's going to be the main thing. That's going to be the main event, the face-off between Goldberg and the Almighty, just before their encounter at SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. So, like, you see, like, MVP comes out, and he just said, well, you know, like, Goldberg's been saying a lot of things, but, you know, the Almighty knows how he's going to handle Bill Goldberg, and, you know, he might not destroy him on Saturday. He might not wait, and he might do it tonight. So that is something that we're going to see later on. But going to the match, like I said, handicap, Sharky and also Bear going against Drew McIntyre. Pretty much another shown for Drew. He came out with a sword. A lot of people like that. I don't like it, because I feel that, like, the sword should be safe for, like, like, main events. For example, like SummerSlam, like WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, like a big pay-per-view. That's when you pull out the sword. But, like, every single show, it just becomes like a regular prop. It loses the significance, and that's, at least for me, you know, every time that he pulls out that, I'm just like, okay, Drew, like, come on, just hit a claimer and beat him up. And that's what ended up happening. You know, claimer for, like, Sharky, 1, 2, 3, and then a promo after that. Then Drew just says, hey, you know, who thinks that, like, I'm gonna beat Jinder Mahal? Everybody raises their hand. The whole crowd is exploding, going bananas. Who thinks that Jinder Mahal is gonna win? Nobody cheers for Jinder. We know about Jinder. We know that experiment in 2017, one of the worst WWE champions of all time, and that is because he's not a great wrestler. He might not be a bad wrestler. The problem is like, he was never portrayed, or he never had, like, a serious character. You know, like, the modern day Maharaja started out in the wrong foot, because everybody knew that they did it just because he had, like, all the Indian audience in WWE. So also Drew says that, like, it doesn't matter what you try, it doesn't matter what, you know, shenanigans you try to pull with me. In the end, at SummerSlam, I'm gonna beat your ass, and that is gonna be it. You know, we know each other for 10 years. DMB, all of that, with, like, Heath Slater. I'm gonna say hi also, like, friend of the house of Goldberg. So, like, at the end, you know, it's not gonna change. The outcome is always gonna be the same. I against you, I'm gonna just be the winner. So that's we're gonna see Drew McIntyre, and that's fine. I think that after this, maybe he can start going maybe like another better feud. This was just like because they don't have anything for him. Jinder Mahal is coming back. He's been like absent for like around a year and a half or so because a lot of injuries. So it's good for both of them to have this match. They're good friends. That's fine. You know, I'm okay with that. Charlotte, remember what I said? She was taken out by Nikki ASH and also like Rhea Ripley. So she said, hey, I want a match. So Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville, they go and say, you know what, girl, it's fine, but you need to find yourself a partner. So go do that. And Charlotte's like, you know. Charlotte was actually also in attendance on Triple Mania 29. That was really cool. She missed the show in North Carolina, but she already had requested time off. So there you go. I give you a little bit of like news right there. And that's cool because she was right there by Almas or by Andrade. She was by her side. So she's a girl that is really supporting him, and now they actually love each other. Ric Flair also like seems to be a good, like he gets along with Andrade. He supports him a lot. So like good for him. You know, we're gonna say hi to Andrade. At least he's trying to improve himself as a character, and he knew that like he was disrespected in WWE. They didn't treat treat him like the way that he deserved it. They didn't know how to use him. So there you go. Somebody else is going to do him for them. So now let's go to like the start of like the segments that are completely, you know, bad. And, you know, this storylines really don't... I don't like this because, again, Moist TV. The name says it all, family. Moist TV. And then they said that they don't want, like, I mean, if they're trying to be maybe not too much like PG-13, that's fine. But like this is like this whole story with The Miz and John Morrison. I see that like the cracks are starting to show. The friendship is about to like, you know, like break, I think. And that's something that at least is good. But before we go to that, Elias is just like completely killing his character, and that's fine. He needs a new resurgence. He needs to reinvent himself. They need something fresh for him. You know, it's been way too long that like he's been disrespected by every single legend that comes back. He gets his ass kicked by The Undertaker. Everybody interrupts him. And I mean, he's a character that was like had a lot of potential, had a lot of things that like they could have done with him, but never did anything. And every time like he had some kind of momentum, they put him down. Every time that they wanted to portray him as a believable heel, nothing happened. Being the lackey of Shane O'Mac, nothing happened. So that's why Elias, I think that like he's trying to like have like this new reinvention, and then he says the character of Elias is dead. I had everybody under, you know, eating out of the palm of my hand, all of that. Like he knew, like he was really popular at some point. Never won a championship, maybe the 24/7. That I think that's all he had. So like that's why I feel that like it's a good thing that like Elias is actually, you know, reinventing himself. They're trying to kill that. Maybe he's gonna come back as a credible heel. They're gonna actually make him like, you know, better in the ring, improve himself, improving the mic. That's all he needs. Hey, you know what? If you need to reinvent yourself, that's fine. Many cases have happened that actually this time over, like when you kill a character that everybody knows that is dead, is a good thing for the guy. So John Morrison just asked The Miz, is like, were you really like ready to go? Were you really clear? You didn't tell me. So like you see like the cracks, you see like already like the distrust in between both of them. And then Damian Priest comes out and he, you know, he says, oh, él es mentiroso, you know, for the ones that like don't know Spanish, is like he's a liar. So he's putting a little bit more fire into like the storyline between The Miz and John Morrison, and he just says, you know what, before I kick Sheamus, you know, in SummerSlam for the United States Championship, I'm gonna take care of you. So Morrison, you know, have a little bit of like words with The Miz, and he says, you know what, the best way to start Moist TV is like for you, The Miz, since you're ready to go, well, how about you guys don't have a match? So like The Miz is really pissed off, and then Damian Priest pushes him, and then you can see like that small pool right there. The Miz falls right there, so like they have the match. In this one, Damian Priest dominated. The Miz, according to him, he wasn't ready for have a match. The good thing is like Damian Priest actually did a bro kick, and then hits him. The Miz 1, 2, 3, and Sheamus was watching, or he was actually in commentary. So you know that's really cool because that's putting a lot of more fire into that bout that they're gonna have, into the feud that he's gonna have with Sheamus. Then kind of really great promo, you know, just mentioning like how he's gonna beat Damian Priest, how he's gonna like if he had like the face broken, like he's actually gonna break his face even more. He's gonna like cut his head, or like he's gonna take his head out of like with the bro kick. So good stuff, good go back and forth between them. So this is gonna be probably the greatest matches, one of the greatest ones in SummerSlam. So I'm really looking forward for this because both of them, especially Sheamus as a heel, is really strong, really secure, is really confident, and Damian Priest deserves that babyface push because he could actually go for like challenge Bobby Lashley at some point. Damian Priest is ready to go. He's a great wrestler and he has a great gimmick because he can play back and forth, babyface and heel. So good stuff on that. Now let's go with like Eva Marie and Doudrop. Eva Marie just saying to like Doudrop, hey, you gotta go and get me that doll. You gotta get me like Lily. You gotta go get her. That's all I need from you because like the evolution must continue. So like, you know, you see like more dissension. Eva Marie is always a bitch to like Doudrop. She's always like mistreating her, not ever like being nice to her. So that's what we're gonna see. But before that, we get to see like the outcome of this, what happened with The Miz and Morrison. And Morrison just said like, well, The Miz is really pissed off. He's like, why did you do that to me? And Morrison says, well, hey, I was injured before and you know, you didn't help me out. You actually left me by myself. So I'm just like getting you back. I'm just like paying back the way that you did. And then you see kind of like they make up, but you see the cracks are right there. They kind of like, you see that like they're trying to make it up, but in the end, you know, the distrust, the dishonesty is right there. So I'm thinking that at some point these two are going to feud finally after like a year and a half, almost 2 years that like they've been a tag. That really didn't do anything for John Morrison. I think for The Miz it did, but like for John didn't do anything besides like killing his character ever since he came back to the WWE. So that was like something that I'm really looking forward to see. The New Day were were actually, like when you got to see in the picture, they were in the back, kind of like just like, making fun of them. So we'll see maybe a feud between these four. I don't want to see that. It's not interesting. I need John Morrison to look serious. Maybe Frankie Monet, Taya Valkyrie, his wife is going to show up or something, but at least this is a good stepping stone going against The Miz, and then start getting some credibility, because John Morrison is always a great wrestler. He can actually give you great storytelling, maybe for the United States Championship, or even going to the main title. It will be great to see him like at least feuding for it. If we know that he's not going to win it, so that's why I think it's a good opportunity for him. So now let's go to the playground. We mentioned like Alexa Bliss, so she says that like we're gonna see Lily, and she says you gotta be in your best behavior because we have already some people coming for you. And then we got to see Drew drop, and then she tries to get the doll. She gets Lily, but then she's staring at her down. And then you see like she gets some kind of trance one more time. She gets hypnotized, and then she's like so scared that she gives the doll back to Bliss. And so you see like this is gonna keep going back and forth. Evolution is not really getting anywhere, unfortunately. They didn't have like great plans for her. They didn't have any concrete plans for her. So like this is kind of as we go. And again, Alexa Bliss, just because it's Alexa Bliss, and then she needs something. I mean, she has a lot of popularity, a lot of fandom. That's the only thing that like is holding this storyline together. The character with Bray Wyatt was a lot better, but unfortunately Bray is releasing it in the WWE. You guys know that. But at least they're trying to do something with this character, but unfortunately it's not going through because nobody believes that Alexa can pull out really great matches. That is something. Piper Niven, and that's a girl that like is a great wrestler. Unfortunately, they don't believe that, so they put him in this situation with Eva Marie, and Eva Marie is not even a wrestler, so that's that causes like the main problem. So let's go with something really quick. Like we see Mansoor and also like Mustafa Ali. They've been trying to do a tag team. Like they won like 3 weeks ago against Mace and also T-Bar, or like Dominik Dijakovic. In this situation last week, actually, then T-Bar won the match against Mustafa Ali, but now it was Mansoor against Mace, and in this situation actually Mansoor got the win. Like he really rolled him up Mace. You saw like Mustafa is not really happy with like this pair up, but after like the win, he's like, what, maybe I believe that we can do something here. So he's really good. Like both of them are athletic, both of them are like kind of like the same background, so it doesn't make a bad idea for them to actually be a tag team. But we'll see what happens. I mean, this is something that is just Monday Night Raw. It doesn't cross to even pay-per-view, so that is something that at least they need to give them some more matches, maybe better feuds, to maybe we can believe that they're a tag team and they can actually challenge for the titles. And we'll see what happens. So we're gonna go with Omos. Omos just says that like he's gonna like kill Randy Orton, so he's gonna kill the Legend Killer, so that's gonna make him the new Legend Killer. And then AJ Styles says, well, Matt Riddle is a moron, so I'm the moron killer. And then in the end they said we're gonna celebrate, everything's gonna be fine, because right now they're gonna have a match, Omos and Randy Orton. And this one was actually one-sided for me, and they did tell the story really well. I feel that like Omos was dominating pretty much the Viper, tried all these moves, tried the RKO, Omos countered everything. In the end, and there was a disqualification because AJ Styles was actually trying to become a factor in the match, so the referee like ended up the match. And then AJ Styles and Omos, they're trying to take a Randy Orton. They were actually beating him up and everything. But then Matt Riddle shows up. Matt Riddle shows up to the aid of like Randy Orton, which is good. And this opened up like a great promo, because Randy Orton says, you know what, like nobody has ever had my back, and you know what, I'm usually a loner, like I mentioned before, like all of my accolades I've done it by myself, but if somebody shows up and like shows that they got my back, they earn my respect. And today, Matt Riddle, you earn my respect. So finally we get the RKBros back again. So you see the storyline, finally they're in the same page. That was really good, and we knew that like at SummerSlam both of them were going to challenge Omos and AJ Styles for the tag titles, so that was really cool. Matt Riddle issues the challenge. Both of them, they actually hug, they actually say the handshake, hug, so the RKBros are back on, and pretty much, most likely, they're gonna win those titles at SummerSlam. Maybe like the story will continue like a month, 2 months, and then they will start the dissension one more time, and it's gonna show up, it's gonna culminate. We're gonna see these two guys actually fighting each other after like some kind of distraction causes them the belts. So I'm thinking this is the beginning for like another 3-4 months of like a really good feud between these two guys. But first we got to see the good side between them. That's going to be winning the tag belts. So that was really cool. Now we're going to see Karrion Kross. This is just was like 2 seconds also, because he's still pissed off, and this is like a creative decision from Vince McMahon and everybody that writes Monday Night Raw. Jeff Hardy was cutting a promo about Karrion Kross. They're gonna have another match, which is like the third one that we've seen so far. And then he says that like he was like he's gonna try to win this match. Jeff said that like, you know, he won one, Karrion Kross won one, but this time he's gonna like go and to have the 2 against 1. But then Karrion Kross like jumps him, and then, you know, he beats him up, and then he says, well, let's do it. And then in the ring he just put the straight jacket, or the Karrion Kross jacket, how they call it, and pretty much that was it. One, like, Jeff Hardy not even submit, he passes out, and, you know, the feud says, Karrion Kross, this is not gonna end, this is gonna continue happening, you know, you and me are gonna be feuding forever. You know, Karrion Kross at least another win, because everybody, with all the backlash that everybody from NXT, everybody in the social media waves, all the fans that like were complaining, why is like, you know, Karrion Kross being like jobbed out to Jeff Hardy. I mean, he come out with like no more words. I love it, it's great, but you know what happens, family. We're gonna talk about more Evolution. I know. Don't get upset at me, but you know, it's another segment that we have on Monday Night Raw. And then she says, where's the doll? Where's Lily? And Doudrop or Piper Niven? She says, well, I couldn't do it. I couldn't get it. Like, she's like, I got something more, another trance. And then just like Eva Marie just slaps her like really hard twice. And you see like more dissension between these two. So I'm thinking SummerSlam is gonna be like the first like time that like Doudrop or Piper Niven reacts to Eva Marie, and then that's the end of this, because again, it's not going anywhere. It's absolutely dead. They need to cancel this situation. Kind of like use it like Piper Niven in a better way. Eva Marie, there was no reason to have her back. You know, she doesn't wrestle, and you know, if you're going to be a manager, that would be much better. But the fact that like she's actually the leading woman in this faction is what really kills it. But for example, if like Piper Niven will be like the wrestler and then Eva is just the manager, but like Piper is the one that does all the orders and everything, it will be much better. But unfortunately, you know, Evolution, you guys know that like that was dead from the moment that it was born. So unfortunately they have to do that. So we'll see at least the culmination this at SummerSlam. Now we have to see, of course, like Reginald. He's the 24/7 champion. Do we really care about this? No. We get to see Akira Tozawa, a great wrestler. Cruiserweights, they don't have cruiserweights in the division. They've been releasing a lot of superstars, but unfortunately Tozawa just is like mixing in this stuff that doesn't make any sense. R-Truth, both of them trying to take Reggie. Reggie outsmarts both of them. He lives in his car. It's like it's too easy to, you know, deal with these two idiots. There you go. Thank you very much. So at least let's make this official at SummerSlam. RKBros, Randy Orton, Riddle, finally in the same page, going against Omos and AJ Styles for the belts. Is going to be great, and also this match is added. Maybe this is going to be the pre-show. I'm thinking if they do the booking right, this should be pre-show, because this is going to be what, 5 minutes to the most, at most I will say, just because this is Alexa Bliss against Eva Marie. This is going to be, again, it needs to be no more than 5 minutes, because again, neither one of them can wrestle. I mean, they're not great wrestlers, especially, well, Eva Marie doesn't wrestle at all. Alexa Bliss can maybe pull out like a better match, but she hasn't wrestled in like forever. Like a good match or like a really serious match. Doudrop is going to be there with Piper Niven. We'll see what happens, family, but I don't have high hopes into this. So, you know, Elias, one more time, like the character is dead. You can see like he was born in 2017 when they brought him in the main roster. 2021 is absolutely dead, but it's good. Elias is going to research, and hopefully this time they do it right. They have a lot of ideas. They can actually do something different with the guy. Hopefully it like sticks in. It's actually good for him and good for like the audience, and that's what like we want. Charlotte Flair, and she needed a partner. Charlotte Flair needed a partner to go against Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley, and it happens to be Nia Jax. I mean, you know, there's to say about Nia Jax. So like they have the match, and one more time, this is just to like showcase like the 3 women that are involved in the triple threat match. And Nikki ASH, for the second time in one night, they lost. So Charlotte actually looks better than them. You know, Nia Jax just serves as the muscle, but then Rhea Ripley was actually dominating, doing a great job. Nikki ASH looks bad in both matches. And in the end, we have to see also Shayna Baszler. She was the one that like watching all the action, because normally Nia Jax is tagging with her. Seriously, the great women not even featured on like SummerSlam in the card. We don't see like Shayna Baszler. We don't see Asuka. We don't see girls that like should have a prominent role in this show. But well, the triple threat match I think is gonna be pretty decent though. And you know, after like a lot of distraction, then Charlotte just hits natural selection on Rhea Ripley, 1, 2, 3, and they win the match. Again, Nikki ASH loses 2 times in one night. That's not good for her to be a champion. But I'm hoping that because Charlotte got the upper hand, maybe Nikki ASH will retain, and then we'll have a little bit more of that rivalry going on. But like this was not good. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, we've seen a lot of these matches between the two. They need fresh women for like, you know, this division. Unfortunately, they don't do that. They don't build anybody. Nikki ASH was just an experiment that turned out to be well. That's all they did. So now let's go with AJ Styles. He just got a promo about what are they going to do in their match against the RKBros, and AJ Styles is like, these two guys hated each other. like hours ago. So this is gonna be easy. It's like, remember, like we went through like every single tag team here. Elias and Riker, where are they now? They don't even like a tag team anymore. The Viking Raiders, there you go, we took care of him. So these guys were never a tag team. It's gonna be easy, and in the end we're gonna be, like the tag champs. We also beat the New Day. We beat everybody that was there to beat. So that's why like they're gonna do it. And in the end I think that like there's really gonna be a title switch, but AJ Styles just showed confidence, and that was good. Family, time to talk about the main event face-off, Bobby Lashley and Goldberg, the last encounter before the match on Saturday at SummerSlam. Bill Goldberg, what's up, San Antonio? Every guys have been talking about my son. I live in Texas. I'm going to introduce you who my son is right there. Like he's looking like actually he aged. He actually like doesn't look anymore like the guy that we saw. Like actually with Jean Paul, we saw him in Philadelphia like 4 years ago. So the guy's like jacked. I mean, maybe Goldberg is injecting some kind of steroid. I don't know. But like, he's ready to go. Maybe at some point he's going to pursue professional wrestling. We'll see. But like, he's always acknowledging the kid. Like he always says, that's the reason I came back. So then MVP and Bobby Lashley come out and they say, well, you've been running your mouth a lot. You're not the same Goldberg anymore. It's not going to be 2 moves and that's it. MVP just also mentions that, you're not going to be just like kicking the door, like screaming, like giving me like all those yelling, not anymore. So Bobby Lashley just says, you know what? I gave you so many chances, so many opportunities for you to back out of this. You didn't do it, so on Saturday, I'm going to show you that like when you step into this ring, you're stepping into my house, in the house of the Almighty. So, in the end, I'm going to just end you, and I'm just going to end the last, your career or like your legacy. That's what he mentions. Goldberg says it's bullshit, and then he gives him a spear, and then we got to see Bill Goldberg getting the upper hand. And that's fine because like once he gets this upper hand right now, then that means on Saturday he's going to lose. They're not going to job Bobby Lashley to Bill Goldberg. I really hope that they don't do that, because if they do, that Bobby Lashley will be another superstar they have killed. And if you don't believe me, look at the example of the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Look where he is now right now. He's actually out of the WWE, but like I said, Bill Goldberg is just, this is not what we wanted to see. We were hoping for Brock Lesnar. Even Bobby Lashley were hoping for Brock Lesnar. But in the end, we get Bill Goldberg. This is going to be like exact like the match that we saw in the Royal Rumble with Drew McIntyre. There will be a little bit of Bill Goldberg, then a little bit of Lashley, then another one from Bill Goldberg, and then in the end it's going to be another spear from Bobby Lashley, 1, 2, 3, and then he retains the championship, and that's where it's going to see. He looked really pissed off right here because he was exposed, he was humiliated. Bill Goldberg gets the upper hand, but we know on Saturday the outcome is going to be different, so that's going to be what we're going to see. And in the end, Bobby Lashley loses or like gets exposed to Bill Goldberg. He's the one right there with his son. He gets the upper hand. He gets the last laugh. We'll see what happens on Saturday, family. A lot of things happen in SummerSlam. Also, we're gonna have Takeover. A lot of news coming out because like Sasha Banks and also Bianca Belair for the SmackDown Championship is still in jeopardy. We'll see what happens. We'll be communicating with you guys as we also find out what's going on with the match. Tomorrow, don't forget, we're gonna have NXT. Then Wednesday, AEW Dynamite. Thursday, we have NXT UK. Friday is gonna be huge. Also, we have Rampage. We have SmackDown. We have Emergence from Impact. And then Saturday, SummerSlam. And then Sunday, we're gonna have NXT Takeover 36. So please be with us. The first thing that you can do for me, please subscribe. Also, like hit the bell for notifications. Give the video a like. Tell me what you guys think about Monday Night Raw. It sucks. It's good. It's getting better. All of those things, just put it in the comments, and then we'll be discussing about professional wrestling. And also, don't forget to follow us in the rest of the social media world. We have it all. So please, be with us. And thank you so very much, family. And I have one more thing that is left to say for you.